Previous poison champion didn't work in Teemo. You gotta try a different poison. Oh, never mind.
There is something beautiful about the fact Samira gets knocked in after my little joke, but it is HoluPhoenix. It is HoluPhoenix.
Wrong side. Still, HoluPhoenix is a player who can absolutely pop off. I'm very happy to see him trying to, like you said, create a volatile game state. They're finding their way to do it. The question I was going to ask was between the junglers, which one did they go for? Maokai or Hecarim? Coming into the tournament, I think everyone had a higher prio on Hecarim, but it feels like people are switching to Maokai. In your previous game, you were talking about how maybe on the Reddit analysts are correct that this is how you beat the Eastern teams is the Maokai ultimate. We'll find out.
Reddit, are you ready? Keep an eye on where the Ferret or Farfetch are going to be running this one. I just want to bring attention very briefly to that Samira. 6 games played, 5 of them wins for HoluPhoenix during the course of this year. And that will now be stepping toe-to-toe with Gala's Tristana, and Xiaohu will once again get his hands on the Sylas. So starting to see again team compositions that want to get in your face, that want to fight. That Tristana is going to be really needing and wanting to draw a bead, use that passive, you put some distance between you, but this is another champ that just wants to go forward. What did Dash say? It's going to be very one-sided, one way or the other. And with Samira, Maokai, Akali, that is how Wildcats are hoping for it to be them.
We'll have to see. You can also see a world where it's just a bloodbath through the first 15 minutes of the game, 20 minutes of the game, and then the superior mid to late game macro and team fighting gets RNG ahead. I do like Gala getting the holding the L against Deft, who had an incredible Tristana performance, and he's like, you know what, that champ is pretty good. I'm going to take this one right here. Does have some safety against the Samira. Able to hop away. Also, if the wind wall portion of her kit is down, you can kind of yeet her out of fights when she wants to go devil trigger mode, whatever.
Yep.
Devil may cry mode on you.
Inferno trigger. I prefer devil trigger though. It's a little bit more exciting. What I will say is, what do you want to see it paired with support-wise? Because, you know, I really like the fact that Maokai can be flexed. And when I do look at Farfetch, he doesn't have any games played under his belt as of yet, but it is possible. I don't know if you want to run into Tristana though.
Tristana is... We'll have to see what they want to do. I was going to say for the support question, it is about having not just setup, because you want someone who can go in with the Samira, lock people down, hold them in place for her to kind of go crazy on, but oftentimes you want some level of damage as well. Start getting them low, because Samira is cleanup in a lot of ways. You know, you do want other threats on your team, which is why I do like it being paired with Akali, for example. Less about laning phase, but also more in the mid to late game. That Samira is not like, oh, I just jumped in and insta-killed everyone. You need people to start getting low, and then you get to find those crazy resets that come with their kit.
That's the other thing as well, is you need a little bit of setup time on a Garen. That's locked in.
Yeah, I thought that was a hover, so I just kept talking over it.
Okay, so the last Q champ that was trying to champion Q win against Aatrox was a blinding dart Teemo. Now you're going to Q champ with Garen, silence, and try spin to win. I'm assuming that's top. But that is actually locked in. Garen is locked in. I'm going to ask production and stats if they have any champs Q info on this, or if anyone backstage does. Mark, good luck.
While you look up that, I am going to lolesports to find out the information. 52% win rate, Masters Plus. Guaranteed W here. Not too much of a surprise. That is a winning matchup in theory in solo queue. We'll see how that works. Last time a matchup in theory won against Breed. It did not go so well. RNG, though, rounds the rest of their comp out with some more dive and CC tools to go with their melee scrappy solo laners, Amumu and Sejuani. 2 very strong picks that got through the draft because there were a lot of specific target bans thrown RNG's way.
Mark, if I can just commend the phenomenal job that you have done in the 3 games of picks and bans. This is the first time we've ever cast together. And we have had...
We're getting the troll game.
We have had some interesting decisions here throughout the course of this. But Garen top, as we were expecting, it's going to be Sett. This is just go, go, go all day.
It does match what I was saying, though, about your support not only wanting engage, but also wanting some damage to back it up a little bit as well. And so Sett can go in there, hit a bunch of people, pull them together, get a big haymaker, get them around half HP, so that when HoluPhoenix goes in from hitting from the backline to actually diving in, people are ideally a little bit low.
And let me just see if I can explain this composition.
Yeah, no, actually, why don't you do that? I'll play by play. This one, we'll do a little switcheroony on him.
I actually don't know what job will be harder. In terms of the Wildcats, I really just cannot wait to see what Starscreen's going to do with this Garen in the top lane. But the composition is extremely easy to understand. Go forward. The only thing is, absolutely every single one of their initiation tools is readable. We're about to jump onto Summoner's Rift, and for one more time, if you want some cool stuff, Link your League Gaming account with leave your Link account with Prime Gaming to receive some of those free digital goods. Oh yeah, we're the 1st of October, aren't we?
Yes. Spooky season started.
How do we write the date in America? Is it 1/10?
I don't even know, to be honest.
Because in Europe it would be 10/1. That would be your rating. 10/1. Do 10 times better than average.
I already watched Hocus Pocus 2 to get in season. Watched Casper already. I'm slamming through my October playlist. I apologize for not knowing the American way of doing things, even though we did a podcast with Goldberg on day 1 about all the differences with Celsius and Fahrenheit and whatnot.
Will you give me permission to tell a very personal story about Hocus Pocus?
Oh, absolutely.
It gave me nightmares, and it was the scariest movie I saw when I was 12 years old.
12?
My friend... Yes, I'm much older.
No, I also mean you were getting scared of Hocus Pocus at 12? I think you're going to say like 4.
Did not like horror movies, didn't enjoy it, took a long time to learn. My friend hid in the cupboard after we got home from watching the film, jumped out and scared me so much I ran into the door head first and then fell on my ass. So I hate that film, and I will never appreciate it, as Xiaohu doesn't appreciate Serin stepping into his face.
Yeah, some trades early on for Serin.
Segways winning.
Yeah, nailed that one. We've seen the Sylas Akali matchup a couple of times now. Sylas has come out ahead, despite often the Akali being picked into it. But I also will say that it does feel like sometimes it's the skill.
Mark.
What?
I'm so sorry to interrupt, but this is crucial. You and I owe the viewers an apology because I know social media and Reddit analysts will know this. Farfetch is forced to flash for his life. Do you want to know the last time Garen was played as Serin is being jumped on and almost solo killed?
This is absolutely Fnatic. Garen Yumi or
no,
something, right?
No, just stop. Seriously, bail out. Let me deliver this.
Okay.
The last time Garen was played, Starscreen played it at MSI, was that 2021? 2022, so it's less than 6 months ago. Do you want to know who it was against?
RNG.
Yes, it was.
Oh my God,
yes,
how did we not remember this?
It has been a trying couple of days, so to all Reddit and Twitter analysts who have undoubtedly called us out, I do formally apologize. And Farfetch will be jumped on, rocket jump forward by Gala. Bandage toss connects onto HoluPhoenix's Samira. He's stunned up, but there's not enough damage to follow. The auto attacks were staying behind in lane. And do you want to know how that game went? I don't think you need to guess that one right now.
RNG lost?
Down
That's why they're doing it again.
That's it.
It's the only reason I can think of.
Down 1,000
You know what is
goals.
fair, though? That was Bin. And so Breathe does not have the experience.
Okay, so he hasn't faced it before.
Yes.
One would hope Ben would have left him notes, written it down, given the retrospective of how the game played out. So I think Breathe may have the info from Ben.
Maybe. I will say, nice gank again by Wei. Every time we have these kinds of troll games, Wei instantly does something to kind of throw the game state in the favor of RNG. Yep. There, topside clear heading into the river from the Raptor ramp. And so even though Wildcats did put out an early ward, it was in the tri-brush. And so he was able to circumvent that ward, find that gank.
No cleanse, no flash for HoluPhoenix. Farfetch used the Ignite, got the Hex flash. Now, to be fair, Gala is also flashless, but he does have a rocket jump which can buffer himself away to safety. While that's going on, small advantage in the top lane for now. Breathe is already bullied Starscreen all the way forward, back to wave, or rather he pushed the wave is a better way of saying it. He's pushed the wave. Starscreen's farming under tower. I think the Skull Crab was dead, just picked up as well by Breathe. So double scuttles, first blood secured, pushing that wave forward, and I just keep my eyes on Wei because everywhere he goes, people die.
Yeah, Wei is always the one throwing the game in the air, trying to make it go in his team's favor. Already some CS leads starting to develop for both the RNG solo laners as well. Off to a pretty nice start for him.
Do you hold your breath every time the observers linger in a lane like this? Because we've been watching mid for a little while, anticipating some sort of engage. As Starscreen is trying his best to use that judgment.
Honestly, once we start lingering in a lane too long, I just start watching the cannons for -1 spams, XDD.
Can you call it out and see it?
I think there was one right there.
Was there right there?
I think Serin missed the... I wasn't watching close enough because I was listening, but yeah, often that's what I'll start doing.
I was looking up the spell names again for Garen because I couldn't quite remember his Q. Decisive strike, and Wei will get taken out. Nicely done here by Ferret, but the counter teleport from Xiaohu. Instant reply onto Farfetch. Now, I will say that is a pretty surprising result already as Starscreen gets pulled backwards by those Infernal Chains. It's still 1,000 gold lead. The kill secured by Ferret on that Maokai. And Xiaohu did use the TP, but he got the reply himself.
Yeah, that was able to get the TP out. That means Serin does have his own to use. I do like that play by the Wildcats. The fact that Ferret was going down to that wave as it was pushing in. You saw Wei camping in the brush as this big wave was coming in, looking for an opportunity to jump on top of them. Ferret, I think he might have not been seen on the Scuttle Crab coming down into that area, and so when Wei commits, he's already in a position to flash W on top of him. Reddit analyst proved correct, able to have that guaranteed lockdown CC, gets that kill. Xiaohu with the teleport does find the kill. Oh boy!
Oh my word! World Ender plus the last Q, not going to be able to pick up the kill. Starscreen flashed for safety. That ultimate is on cooldown as well. Demacia Injustice wasn't able to secure it, so trading back and forth. Still down 20 CS, and Wei is now looking for the engage. Both junglers around. Ferret and the Saplings will be able to push them out. Wildcats already toying a little bit with Breathe and Wei, a big minion wave they don't want to fight into.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that Ferret didn't go for a W there, try and lock them down. Starscreen's passive is healing up just by being in the wave.
Oh, 200 hit points. Here comes Ming. Flash bandage toss available to him. And credit yet to Serin moving as well. Okay, so Wildcats, they are fairly heavily behind this early on, but they are trying to set plays up and not over-chasing when the opportunity goes
And
to
I want to give some fairness to this game. We were kind of comparing it to the first one that RNG played.
That's what I was expecting.
It was, and we were calling that game a troll game. It was, honestly, with the Teemo and the Sion mid, it was kind of next level. This one is just one little weird pick. The Samira is not a joke, obviously. We've seen Garen force Starscreen as well. Sett is not a joke. Like, this is a legitimate strategy that they're throwing, and they are doing so much better this time around, already kind of answering some of the plays that RNG is looking for. Yes, they are still behind, almost 2,000 gold. A lot of that just comes off laning prowess, but they're looking for their opportunities here.
I completely appreciate the tonal shift because I absolutely took us down a different route when we started.
I mean, I was there with you at first.
I hate this. I'm trying to throw myself under the bus. Yeah, kudos to Wildcats. I do like that gank attempt up top. I do want to respect the damage that Starscreen put down with that Demacia Injustice, but let's again just not forget the fact that it's a kill and assist to Gala's Tristana. It's plus 20 CS already in the top lane. It's nearly 2,000 gold. Dragon number 1 is falling at 7.5 minutes. I still believe that the earliest dragon that's fallen is around 6 minutes as well. So again, very early start. RNG won their game earlier today in 25 minutes. Once they got that little bit of a gold lead, it ran away. So for the Wildcats to keep me on the edge of my seats and holding my breath, they need to make sure they don't concede any more kills and ideally look to try make some proactive plays.
I think, especially now that HoluPhoenix is 6 already, we'll see if they want to start contesting these neutral objectives. I do feel like that's one of the big things their comp wants to do is, one, just be very proactive on the map, get up there, find these odd timing windows to make ganks happen with Ferret, but also get scrappy early. Flip the game at the earliest possible opportunity that you see a good angle to do it. And if HoluPhoenix gets one of these insane Samira highlight plays where you're grabbing a pentakill or just cleaning up a triple kill in a neutral objective fight, that can be what you need to get enough ahead of the game that the kind of problem that they're having in lane phase is negated by getting a gold influx through kills.
The question is, will they have that opportunity? Can they capitalize on it? We saw a little earlier today, attempt after attempt after attempt being made by the Chiefs, and they didn't land their skill shots. I am concerned for the Wildcats in terms of finding those initiations, because again, like, Akali either wants to flank or she has to jump at you. Maokai, like, literally has to flash W, really, to get involved. Garen just waddles in your general direction. The point I'm getting a long-winded way of getting to is that it is easy to anticipate. Xiaohu walking away for now, goes forward, gets chased out by Ferret, and Xiaohu will use the perfect execution that was hijacked to escape with his life. Beautiful escape, but again, I want to give credit to Wildcats on the attempts.
Yeah, very close attempt. Farfetch not able to get the pullback, trying to combo with Maokai's chain CC, but Xiaohu played that too cleanly, gets out of there, does lose his flash fort though, so summoner advantage in their pocket. During that time, Wei was hovering around topside, considering a gank, actually just grabs the Rift Herald instead, so that first major objective fight that we're looking for, not coming through, but they were going for that gank windmill that I was talking about, as Ming clears the wave with his ult. You know what?
Sending a message.
Like, that is the greediest support play you can make in a competitive game, where you're like, I'm an Amumu. I am my team's, like, one of my monstrous teamfight ultimates, and I'm using it for the wave because I want it.
And also, the thing is, when you look at the rest of this team and the CC and the damage that literally every other one of them have in their kit, it's it's not as needed as you might expect.
And to be fair, the Dragon was taken by RNG as well, so there is no timing window where he must have it for a fight that's about to happen. You can use it in that way. It was just funny.
As the analyst of this game, Mark,
my bad.
it was about sending a message, right? That's where
the mental damage inflicted.
The mental damage. You're gonna have to play-by-play one of these fights. I'll look for your hand signal to see where you.
No, you gotta give me you gotta throw me into, because I will never volunteer myself.
Okay, later in the game then. Later in the game, because we can anticipate that the Wildcats will, look for another opportunity. They're behind in bottom, behind middle, behind top now. Not significantly in middle. Or bottom 10 CS for both respective lanes. For this Garen, though, I will ask you to put your thinking cap on. Unless Farfetch and HoluPhoenix get jumped on. It's a very good ward spotting out Ming.
Ming's in trouble.
Vision control is very good here from our observers highlighting it. Showstopper comes down. That brings Ming backwards. He has no Curse of the Sad Mummy. That is fantastic. And then you highlighted. Now, admittedly, I don't know if it would have saved his life in that
Flash
moment.
might get you out there, though.
There we go. Good point. Flash was available, and Serin fancies himself a shot here. Wildcards get their second kill. The only concern I have for them, they're 2,000 gold down.
Yeah, and this is why I want to see them go for things, because I think it will be death by paper cuts through laning advantages from RNG if you don't find ways to make stuff like this happen.
Gala, not going to be able to buff Ferret. He does indeed flawlessly, actually. I was misreading that one. Nicely done on the rocket jump. Definitely not caught by surprise. No ulti available for Serin. He's not going to get caught by the Glacial Prison, and Wei will not dash forward. So again, swing and a miss here from the middle lane. Serin escapes with his life, still 0-0-0. But falling further and further behind on CS. World Ender comes out, Starscreen spinning. Judgment Flash is available to him. Flashes away on that third Q.
Unlucky for Starscreen there. Chose the mathematically longest angle to take with the speed up that he had. Runs to the far corner of the Aatrox pullback, does end up going and loses his flash for that one. I feel always bad for people when I see them do that. I'm like, there's a trig problem you could solve real quick if you just wanted to take a second and realize that you can take a different path there.
And it might be fair to say trigonometry may not have been many League of Legends viewers and players' strong suit. Those who are good at trig, congratulations. I'm proud of you. I sucked at trigonometry. Fortunately for the Wildcats, that does mean Starscreen again gets pushed out of lane. He's now 40 CS behind. Has no teleport to his name either. Keep that in mind. That was something that I haven't yet highlighted. Serin, the only member of the Wildcats that has a teleport. So against Xiaohu and Breathe, who are able to move around the map. RNG already in position to contest or fight for this Drake. And Starscreen is making his way down. Yet. He wants to get involved in the fight. No flash available to him. Curse of the Sad Mummy comes down, and that is already a kill onto Farfetch. Serin gets chunked out, blown up as Gala rocket jumps forward. That's a flash away from Serin. Easy kill set up there. That Maokai ultimate, I think, was stolen and turned around onto the Wildcat.
Yeah, really nicely done there by RNG, finding Farfetch and blowing him up. Never even got a chance to suplex anyone. Got a nice haymaker off, but the rest of Wildcats was far too split up to actually find an angle to take that fight. And this is kind of what's talking about the death by paper cuts. This is now 3 neutral objectives gone, heading into minute 15 almost. You're 13 minutes in the game right now, but you want to start contesting one of these here, but RNG are just in such a better position, grouped up as 5 already, as Serin tries to find an angle. Garen's trying to get the wave going for Starscreen, and they just jump on the 3-man during this timing window.
Double Nature's Grasp. Everybody.
That's a lot of cats, too. It does the same skin cast, I realized.
I just saw the same thing myself. Oh, nyan, 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 nyan.
You're banned from doing songs on broadcast, I swear.
I mean, look. They were letting out the cats inside of them. Istanbul Wildcats are shattering how it feels to be a lone Garen and not believed. Starscreen has clawed back that gigantic CS difference in the top lane. Unfortunately, as a team, they have not. 7 turrets to 1. They are still very far behind. I will also say, in comparison to the last RNG game we cast, there's a bit more hesitation, maybe respect being given here by RNG.
Absolutely.
From the early game, because they really ran away against Isurus. But here, a little bit more tempered, a little bit more controlled. They are still taking every advantage they can, but they're not forcing.
Yeah, and like, for example, Breathe has not found a ton of solo kills, but he's into Ignite Garen instead of the Teemo.
Yes.
And so, you know, while he has done a very good job controlling the lane, surviving it, forcing out flashes, ooh, HoluPhoenix just blew up Wei's ultimate with the nicely timed. I would still call it win wall, but...
Yeah, I mean, Blade Whirl, that works too. Now we'll find out. Reddit analysts, are you correct? No, because Aatrox sends his regards. Long-range bandage toss! Curse of the sad mummy! The showstopper was hijacked and stolen. So far, a 1 for 2. The Starscreen gets on the board. It's not done yet. Xiaohu manages to find Farfetch, and he's now running away for his life. Or is he? Turns the damage back around onto Serin. 2 for 1, 3 for 1 now as the tower is the next focus.
Excellent counter engage by Ming there, finding the 3-man lockup, and critically onto HoluPhoenix as well. If there's one, oh
my
Ferret.
word, bang, bang, bang. The boom will secure it. It's actually Xiaohu that gets the final hit. Now Serin trying to step outside of that Twilight Shroud. Dashes forward and gets shot in the face before he can. Just about ace for RNG.
Mid-air kill for Gala there to make sure he did not die. Probably had enough health to live anyways, but making sure it was not close. And like I was saying, most important thing, they killed HoluPhoenix at the start of that fight. RNG have so much control on the tail end of it. They grab the mid lane turret, they redive, get a couple more kills. Breathe leak down, went to the top side. He's gonna get the 3rd turret of the game now. All outers down for RNG, looking really good.
And I think that previous fight is kind of the point I've been saying like many times this game. Wildcats, when they are initiating, it is fairly easy to read, and once that Nature's Grasp was unable to secure a kill or an advantage, the re-engage tools, from either the Aatrox or the Amumu are just game-changing. I think there was an Aatrox Q that slowed down as well, any sort of initiation, and then Ming's re-engage was flawless. It gives RNG a 6k gold lead. Starscreen will be the next target. 1-on-1, gets jumped on. Demacian Justice has been hijacked. Let's secure the kill. Demacian Justice from Xiaohu. Wildcats will now try to re-engage. They find themselves one onto Xiaohu and a shutdown. Secured by the little Ferret himself, and the Nyans will be able to catch yet another onto Breathe. This should be a kill, or will it? HoluPhoenix, his Inferno trigger, will secure the damage as Ferret gets the kill.
Yeah, a little scary there.
Yeah.
HoluPhoenix would have to lose his flash for that play. The rest of RNG are getting things done in the mid lane for, but still, Wildcats finding a shutdown for RNG, being a little greedy there. Fighting that in the top lane to kill Starscreen, sure, that's fine. If you had vision in topside to know, but you could see right before Xiaohu was dropped, he started channeling recall. So he had no idea that this collapse was coming, or he maybe didn't. He's like, oh, either I recall or I die from this position. As you can see here, they are finishing off the Rift Herald while they take this 2v1. They get that kill. Xiaohu's like, great, I used his ultimate against him. I'm cool. Gonna recall now. Dead.
Yeah, instantly. Take a look at the vision. There's actually no vision as far as I can tell.
No,
definitely
I think
surprised.
I think they knew that they were getting the Rift Herald uncontested, so that makes them think, okay, they're probably on the bot side of the map or resetting or something, not that they're right behind the Rift Herald pit jumping on us. And so, do give a couple kills over, but definitely not the end of the world. Still 7,000-ish gold up.
I mean, it's gigantic, and I think a lot of credit here to Wildcats making this composition look a little bit more threatening than maybe I was anticipating from the draft. RNG, if they close this one out, it will eliminate the Wildcats from playoff contention as well, put themselves up to 3-1 in the standings. And tomorrow, RNG will be playing Saigon Buffalo. What'll be very interesting to see is how DRX Mad Lions play out, because on the assumption that DRX beat Isris in the next game, in that thought, maybe some tiebreaker games based on that DRX Mad game. Wait, we'll get Showstop backwards, but there's no further follow-up, no Nature's Grasp, no Demacian Justice, and it's Farfetch that gets taken down. Here comes Breathe. Hold your breath, Wildcats. Farfetch has got himself at least one kill. Ferret is so incredibly low. He'll root down and hold down. Gala will get the kill, reset, rocket jump forward. Starscreen and Serin running for their lives. And Xiaohu continues to chase. Does he fancy the tower dive? Not right now.
No E available for Xiaohu to keep that chase going, but RNG.
Oh, Chilling Smite, continue to chase, dash forward, chains, slap him with the chains, will not find the target. Wei continues to hunt, throws out the frozen flail, dashes away to safety, and stays alive for now. Serin completes the teleport, and it's in fact Starscreen that gets the kill with the help of the turret. And it's getting a little bit more
Gala's
fun
hunting
here for RNG. Shot through the shields, and Gala gets the kill. Doesn't fancy the chase further. 14-7, 20 minutes in, and now we have descended into some level of chaos.
Yeah, we're definitely in the chaos zone here. Going underneath an inhibitor turret with an inner still up is a pretty good indicator you've crossed into this realm. There is a Hextech Dragon up and the objective bounties available for the Wildcats, so might be able to make something happen here, though Breathe is on the flank.
I mean, 8,000 gold down. RNG are going to be able to literally just stare the Wildcats away. Too risky to look for that one. Gala, by the way, 504, 700 gold bounty right now.
Yeah, he's a pretty threatening Tristana. RNG, I like the way they played that fight. Very heads-up stuff both way, flashing down so that the ultimate from Farfetch put him far away from the rest of his team. And then Ming's bandage toss and flash ult into stopwatch when they were trying to re-engage onto him. Just doing all the little things right in the fight, making sure that they are setting themselves up to wipe the Wildcats.
Mark, can I ask you to tell me, legitimately not trolling, what do you make of this Garen pick thus far? I think it has done more damage than I was expecting. It hasn't necessarily been game-changing, right? But I definitely thought it was going to be a whole lot worse.
I mean, it's not like 1v9 losing the game, which sounds like what your expectation was. I think when you go Ignite...
That is a fair assumption.
When you go Ignite, Garen counterpick into Aatrox, I don't want you to be losing your flash defensively. I would hopefully find one solo kill. That, to me, would be a nice success. Have control in the lane phase. You know, maybe you lose some of the earlier levels or whatever, but at 6, when you have that Ignite to try and find those kills, actually doing that. He has picked up some in these team fights, which is nice, but still down a lot of farm and was down a lot of pressure in the early laning phase.
No, I mean, Wildcats are going to continue to look for these initiations. I think if they are going to make it work, they either need to catch RNG by surprise, look for some sort of flank where Serin and Starscreen can blow somebody up early, or alternatively, the showstopper, Nature's God's combination, needs to find a target and instantly blow someone up. But there's a Warmogs, Sunfire, Hourglass. It gets very difficult.
It's very difficult. We were talking about sturdiness before. It definitely applies to RNG's comp a little bit here. Starscreen is close to finishing his Mortal Reminder, going for the kind of most normal build, I'd say, for especially solo queue. Stridebreaker into Mortal Reminder to become pretty threatening. Not going full tank or something, which is something that you often see when you move builds from solo queue to pro play, especially like Hecarim, for example. Recently, there's a sudden indexing into the tank stats, which sometimes loses what makes the champion a pick at like why you're taking it in the first place. So happy to see Starscreen finish off that Mortal Reminder here in a second in base. There it is on his 2-item power spike now.
The Garen 2-item power spike. I mean, to be fair, there's only a cloth armor extra for Breathe at the moment. I mean, itemization-wise.
True.
We'll find out whether or not the Garen champion skill set is going to be enough, because Istanbul Wildcats are still 3 dragons down, 4 towers down, 7 kills down, 9,000 gold down. It's a difficult position to be in. Starscreen, the last time he played Garen against RNG, he went 3-6-2. Currently 3-3-1. Wonder if he'll replicate that scoreline. We'll find out as RNG continue to siege this one up. Baron is up. Farfetch will be forced to flash over the wall. That's one of the tools that they need for some form of initiation. Not available to them.
Yeah, very painful to lose that on Sett. Normally, you obviously want to have some E pullback. Sometimes you flash behind them and then get your suplex into the middle of your team. That play not available. Still has Hex Flash though, so it can maybe surprise someone.
Yeah, I'm just having a little bit of a little bit of fun looking at the scoreboard from the last time RNG and Wildcats played was at MSI, and Gala went 7-0-6. He's currently 5-0-4. Wei went 9-1-6. He's currently 3-2-7. The game played in a fairly similar way. It was also 25-26 minute win, but I do think this time around the Wildcats are at least fending off a little bit more. I think RNG paying them a little bit more respect and awareness. I imagine the post-game interviews are definitely going to cover Starscreen's Garen, but I do think, Mark, we're looking down the barrel here of Wildcats being eliminated.
Yeah, Wildcats will have to find some sort of insane play to win this game and stay alive at the group stage here. I gotta say, looking really good for RNG. Yeah. The fact that you have so many threats that are doing so well. While Breathe has not found a ton of kills, he has been an absolute monster this game, super far ahead in terms of farm. Obviously, Gala insanely farmed, 5-0-4. Even if, you know, RNG have this kind of flubbed engage where you're able to kill Xiaohu, for example, right out the gate, there's so many other threats that they need to find.
Vision toggle here is pretty good. So we're looking at RNG's vision if you look at the minimap. A lot of deep vision, definitely on the northern quadrant. And that little Hex gate, that will spot at least Farfetch out. Dodos can't fly, so as he takes the taxi across with that leak in hand, the information is given away.
I just love the question mark thing instantly from RNG. It was making me laugh as soon as Xiaohu's like, what is he doing?
Man.
It was funny too, because I was about to say that RNG is playing respectfully. Xiaohu's not going aggressive there because they had people in the bot side of the map. So where Istanbul Wildcats was clearly not in their bot jungle, Xiaohu knows, okay, I gotta play safe. And then just for the confirmation, you get this Sett flying. This
is a pretty like harsh sentence to say, but for the Wildcats, there is a modicum of respect being shown by RNG. Frankly, that's kind of the only thing that you're really taking away from this, because it has been very RNG favored. I don't think the Wildcats composition has had the opportunities that they would have liked to create for themselves. And the game is now slowed down. It's about playing for the soul. It is spawning, and I think it looks like Way's inside the pit, if I'm reading that correctly.
Yeah, they're taking it right now.
So add that to Aatrox's autos, Sylas's autos, Tristana's autos, and the Hextech Dragon, which you can argue is one of, if not the strongest dragon in the game, going to absolutely, boost all of RNG's power.
Someone get in Trevor's ear about the dragon counts so far for Worlds. Someone can update him, because I know that's something that people have been talking quite a bit.
I'm actually going to be hosting one of the knockout days, and I have a special segment planned for how many dragons have been killed, what is the most favorite, what rifts we've had. I think doing it on day 3 of groups is not as impactful, but I guarantee you, your heart's in the right place. I love dragons.
A lot of people also said Hextech for most taken. That's mostly what I'm curious about, is how many have it. Yeah. I've personally cast like 6 Hextech rifts. Here we go.
I don't know how many I've cast. This way, we'll find the connection onto Ferret. The curse from the sad mummy will go down. Showstopper follows up, but the entire team is not there.
Ooh,
the Wildcats
Serin.
Double kill for Serin. Connects with another. That's a triple already. Starscreen has joined the fight. Xiaohu and Bree versus Starscreen and Serin, but Serin's so incredibly low. Runs for his life. Serin, that was beautiful. The Infernal Chains pull Starscreen backwards. Judgment has been thrown to Master Injustice. On cooldown available for him. Here comes Serin once again. It's Starscreen that gets the kill, but Xiaohu is not done yet. Serin forced to fight. Xiaohu's burning. Serin gets 4. Starscreen gets 2. What a fight!
Serin absolutely popping off, wipes RNG on the top side of the map. Starscreen was late. I was about to say, where were you, my man? But he shows up when they need it. The Ignite helping get the last tick down, and Serin lived with like 20% or 20 HP.
We need a slow-mo on that Akali triple. Serin just destroys RNG.
Serin pops off, but I have to give a big head tap to Farfetch. He had a monstrous combination, I'm pretty sure, on this Sett here. Ferret, we'll see again. Reddit analyst coming in big with the ultimate that's going to come through, I think, in a second here. Farfetch lands this big suplex into the middle of the team, gets, I think, a haymaker onto 3 or 4, gets everyone really low there, and that's what allows Serin to pop off and find these kills. But still, Serin had to do a lot of work. He landed so many of these E's, was able to snipe out multiple people. HoluPhoenix trying his best to kite out. Nice sidestep there, but just stat checked by Breathe at this point in the game. And here I'm like, oh, Starscreen's finally here. It looks funny, but Serin has the TP. He's going to come right back on top of that pink ward that he was recalling on top of. Starscreen with the execute was absolutely huge, as you see here. Getting low, has the Ignite, stops some of the healing that they are able to have. That's also one of the advantages of the Mortal Reminder. Flashes back in for that kill. Never mind, we're on Baron, it's gone.
Yeah, so crucial. Serin landed everything he needed to pick up those kills. And that was actually 3-2, not 4-1 in terms of kills secure. That Ignite from Starscreen, picking one more up. Baron goes down. Serin and the Wildcats are going to be very happy with that one fight. And this is where, you sit back, hindsight is 2020. If they weren't 10k down, if a few of those other engagements, if they could have done something a little different to prevent Wei getting ahead, how different could the game have played out? But all kudos to the Wildcats for that team fight, which was effectively a 4 versus 5 because Starscreen was so late to the party. Yep. They managed to pick up, the ace.
Yeah, it was a very nice showing for Wildcats to have one time where their team comp was able to work here, seeding up their entire top lane to just funnel some more gold onto HoluPhoenix. It looks like trying to get the objective bounding down the bot lane. RNG might end the game before he's able to do that. He's kind of channeling his recall here, not sure if he needs to go back or not. He desperately wants his Infinity Edge. Looks like he doesn't need to recall. Still going to complete it, though.
Yeah, there's going to be second inhibitor falling here, and I have to... That last fight, it leaves me with such a sour taste in my mouth. What could have been the Wildcats picking the same top laner into the same team 6 months after the last international face-off. It was so well executed, but losing the 2 inhibitors, the position they're in, I mean, it was always going to be so unlikely. the Wildcats will be eliminated from playoffs as soon as this Nexus falls, and it feels like a matter of time with the way the Rift is set up.
Yeah. Definitely too far for Wildcats to come back with after a single fight. Maybe if enough people live, maybe if HoluPhoenix type it out, you can grab the Baron.
But you need to have him multiple times, right?
Yeah.
2, 3 of those fights.
And to your point about what could have been, it had to be in that first 15 minutes where they had a couple of these neutral objectives, a couple fights, something that would have disrupted the lane states, but they never quite found it the first time that they're able to get that big team fight. You're already so far behind.
Now for RNG, as they're pushing into this one, we'll be looking down one last game against Saigon Buffalo tomorrow. Istanbul Wildcats will be facing off against Icarus tomorrow in game number 4. And then DRX Mad, the other 2 teams. So they'll cover the 6 in the group to find out which 4 will be advancing, what the seeding will be. Xiaohu has hijacked away that Nature's Grasp, but look at the damage it's already done. Curse of the Sad Mummy, 1, 2, 3, 4. He's about to fall. Serin gets popped from long-range ignite. The ace in front of the Nexus, and RNG eliminate Wildcats.
RNG, make them pay for getting that ace against them a couple minutes ago. Ace them in front of the Nexus, move up to 3-1, still making that desperate bid to try and get higher in this group stage. We have Mad Lions versus DRX coming in tomorrow. DRX also playing next game as well.
Yes, I think the point I was building up to just before that is, if one presumes DRX win this next game, if you presume RNG beats Saigon, what that means is Mad Lions versus DRX will decide whether we have 0 tiebreakers in this group, because it'll be 5-0, 4-0, 3-2, etc. And if Mad Lions beats DRX, we have, I think it's a 3-way bracket, because it'll mean that 3 teams will be tied at 4-1.
Yes.
And I believe